Hey, we made it. We're back again. Good evening. Welcome along to SAFC Fan TV and another edition of Monday Night Live. Joining us tonight, we have CONRAD is with us. How's your day been, CONRAD?
Yeah, it's been all right. Just got through work as you do, and then just looking forward to talking a bit about Sunderland.
Looking forward to talking about Sunderland. Jack Shields is with us. Jack, how's your day been?
Yeah, it's been not too bad. Not too bad for a Monday. I think we've got to probably have a little bit of ranting to do between the four of us today, won't we, tonight? But yeah, it should be good.
Well, it could get lively. Terry's not with us. He's on holiday. He's out and about. He's up in, I think he's in Inverness. He's up in Scotland looking for that monster. So we have Wayne Doran is with us. Wayne, how's your day been?
Not too bad. Just finished work, bit tea, and looking forward to a lively show tonight, I think.
Right, well, don't forget, of course, we are live, which means you can join us via the live chat if you wish to do so. Have your say, get involved. That's what you got to do. Already on there, Mick Griffiths is there. Good evening, one and all, he says. Jackie Fields, is that you, Jack?
It's my dearest mother, actually, Phil.
We love your mum. Is your mum tuning in just to watch her beloved son?
She is, yeah. She's actually upstairs listening on her own. So
there you go. CONRAD Tank is on there as well. So if you want to get involved, just use the live chat, and we'll do our best to do so. As you know, every single Sunderland game, I do put a little bet on a 3-1 scoreline. The 3-1 scoreline came in just the wrong way around. Sunderland 1, Swansea 3. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to pass it around first. And I'd like to know what you thought of the game before Luke O'Nien got sent off. So those 18 minutes before he got sent off. Do you think we was doing all right? Wayne, we'll kick off with you.
Yeah, I thought we played really well. I thought we were actually, on the front foot. And I thought it was probably the best 20 minutes on the front foot wise we've probably seen at home this season. We were at them from the start. We were energetic. We were getting forward. We just couldn't get that final pass again. But up until then, I thought we were really, really good. We looked at it, and I think Tony Mowbray, I think he spoke before the game, didn't he, and said that we have to stop them from keeping the ball, and we did that. And it was looking like it was going to be a really, really good game.
Yeah, I think Swansea are a better side than what their sort of league position says, really. Jack, first 20 minutes before Luke O'Nien went off, what did you think?
Yeah, I thought we were fantastic, absolutely fantastic. We played with a real energy, I felt, from the first whistle, an intensity to the play. We were knocking it around really, really well. Didn't really create a genuine out-and-out chance. I know we had one or two shots from outside of the box, but it was as bright as Wayne's touching on, as bright as we've been at home this season. And it was just a matter of when Sunderland were going to score. I thought it was coming. When you can just sense a goal's coming in the game, I just felt like a Sunderland goal was coming. I'm very, very happy with the way we started. Because the Swansea style of play is a bit more possession based. I do think if you're intense and you start from the off, you can catch teams like that. And the crowd is up and everything was going really well, really, really, really well until the big incident, obviously, which we'll come on to.
Yeah, I've got to agree with you. I mean, Sunderland a lot of the time can start well, but they'll have sort of 5 minutes, 10 minutes tops, and then they'll sort of die off. But for some reason, they was pretty good, and like you say, it was just a girl was on its way. A goal was definitely on its way. CONRAD, first 20 minutes.
Yeah, I thought we were doing pretty well. I think we've been on. I mean, I know results might not show. We've been on a bit of a spell recently where we're actually having a go at teams and playing in a very sort of consistent way. Normally, we were talking before about, what was it, Jekyll and Hyde, sort of Sunderland over different halves of a game, whereas I think in the last at least 5 or 6, we've been quite consistent throughout the matches. And it sort of felt like, we're carrying on from where we left off, because if we're not counting the FA Cup game, Blackpool, we were all over them. And it was just matter of time before we scored and probably went on to win it if there'd been a little bit more time left. And it felt that way again when we sort of started, that we were just sort of going at them, and then it all changed.
Yeah, definitely. Back to the chat quickly. Jeff is on there. Jeff Holcroft, of course, says evening, Philly and the lads. And Mick Griffiths, your Wi-Fi seems good tonight, Phil. Well, what we've done, we've swapped computers and went back on the SAFC Fan TV super duper computer, as the Geordies like to say. Right, okay, then before 09 got sent off, and we will, by the way, get on to this referee, Keith Stroud, who, well, we'll have a good rant about him, I'm sure. But before Look 09 got sent off, Ahmad, penalty in the box. Was it a penalty? Was it not a penalty, Jack?
Yeah, I think it is. I think Ahmad's done him, hasn't he? He's sort of turned the lad, and he looks like he's going to be either getting a shot away or getting the ball across the goal, and he nicks his heels. It's not the most violent, terrible physical foul you'll ever see, but when you've got a player as quick and as slight as Diallo, that sometimes the slightest little nick when a player's starting to accelerate can make him and go. Does he go down a little bit easily? I think so, to a certain extent. The way that he falls doesn't help him. Even though there is contact, I think the way that he kind of goes down doesn't help, but it doesn't change the fact that there's definitely contact there. So, yeah, I think it should have been a penalty, and obviously what happened 30 seconds later just rubs salt in the wounds, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, let's go back to the chat just very quickly. Gary Talbot says, all right, lads, should be interesting talking points at the neat. Well, I'm sure there will be. DJ Sizzler Watson, welcome back, Conrad. We were the better side. Mick Griffith says, it looked like a pen to me, kicked his leg away, then pulled him back. Conrad Tank, Ahmad exaggerated the situation. And Jeff says, no way is it a pen. Sorry. Before I pass it, I'll go to you, Conrad. But before I do, when I've seen it, it's a stonewall penalty, 100% without a doubt. However, when I saw it the first time, which is what the referee has, it wasn't a stonewaller. It was only when you saw it back that you say, yeah. And you've got to think about the referee. As much as we hate him and what have you, he's got that one look. And I'm sort of in his camp initially, because when I saw it first time, I thought, but then once I saw it back, stonewaller. Conrad?
I was sort of like, when I first saw it, I was up sort of like wanting a pen, and then I've seen it since back a few times, and I'm very much it's one of them. I think sometimes you see it given and sometimes you don't see it given on there. It just depends on the referee, as we'll come on to with him on there. Like, I wouldn't say it's not like he's gone through the back of him or anything. It's like Jack says, he's a very clever player and he's very sly, and he's just sort of nicked him and he's sort of gone down. Yes, his exaggeration didn't help, but then you've got the argument you bring in of, but if he doesn't go down, you're not going to get rewarded for your honesty and playing on. So you've got to make it seem like, well, hang on, I was touched. So it's sort of like, does he need to be a better actor? Then probably, if it's got to be, he's got to be going down for things like that. But I'm sitting on the fence. So you see him given and you see them not given. Like, it's a little bit of contact, and the ref probably thought it's early enough in the game, I'll let that one go. Little did he know, 20 seconds later, he was about to be sort of given what I think was no option.
Which is not really how a referee should referee a game. If you're saying it's early in the game, we'll let that go. It's either a penalty or it's not a penalty.
Derby games were like that, though. Do you remember when Catamol clattered into Barton after like 30 seconds at St. James's Park and like just walked off going, it's all right, it's fine, and the ref didn't book him, and you're sitting there going, that's a yellow card all day long, but because you're 30 seconds into it, you've gone, no, not yet. I can't do that now.
Oh, Conrad, I totally agree. It happens all day long without a doubt. Conrad Tank obviously said Ahmad exaggerated the situation. DJ Sizzler Watson says defo a pen. If we got it, 09 would still be on the pitch. Yes, definitely. Charlie Rowan, bad referees is something we're going to have to put up with for a long time in the Championship. We need to get used to it. To be fair, we had bad referees in League One. I mean, bad referees. I do think in the Championship they are sort of slightly better. But Wayne, penalty or no penalty?
100% a penalty for me. Mick Griffiths just said it there in the chat there. For me, I think it's two fouls. I think when you slow it down, he kicks him in the calf and then pulls him down. So, but you're on about the ref there.
2 penalties then.
Two penalties.
2-0 up.
I mean, I'll go for that if that's the rule. Like, if you...
I think that's what Mitrovic tried at St.
Yeah.
I left 2 kicks of the ball, didn't he? So,
I mean, on about the ref there as well, though. I mean, the linesman as well, right in line, but it's not just the ref, he's got 2 officials as well. So, the 2 of them are to blame for me. 100% the penalty, Stonewaller.
I think, to be honest, I don't know what's going on with linesmen or referees, assistants, or whatever you want to call them now, because there must be a remit somewhere where they've been told that they just don't get involved anymore. It's like, and I think unless it's an absolute blatant something, it's as though they're told not to overrule the referee to sort of make him look, sort of stupid. But the official that's closest to the incident should make that decision. But it doesn't happen now. I mean, I think they're a waste of time now. Linesmen, they just, and a lot of the time, even when the ball goes out, they wait and watch which way the referee points before they put the flag up. It's just ridiculous, man. Right, okay then. Well, we'll get to the sending off. Just before we do, quickly back to the chat. Jess2000 says that red card was exactly the same as Felix's red card for Chelsea versus Fulham. I didn't see that game, so I can't really comment on that. David Jones, referees in League One this season are a joke. Have Jim that works in a DIY shop in the weekend referees League One game at the weekend. It's a joke. DJ says, Watson, Championship should have VAR by now. Still not a big fan of it. Still, for me, too many decisions, even when it goes to VAR, are not given, and it's just ridiculous. Right, just very quickly, we've got 82 people on the stream watching at the moment. We'd like to try and hit 50 likes if we can. We've got 29 so far. So if you just hit the thumbs up, it'll take you a second to do so. It's free. Just do that. If you're watching on a mobile device and you have the live chat on, just close the live chat. You'll see the thumbs up. Just smash that. Let's get up to 50. We can do that on a Monday if we can. And also, don't forget, if you are watching and you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, free to subscribe. Please hit that subscribe button, and that will help the channel out immensely. Right then. So, no penalty given. Straight up the pitch, 20 seconds later, whatever it was, Luke O'Nien goes flying in, sent off. Was it a red card? Straight red card. Was it? Yes or no? Wayne?
Not for me. Yes, it was late, and it was mistimed. He's a bit frustrated from what's happened 30 seconds earlier, but it's not dangerous in my eyes. He's just mistimed it. I guess he's going to fly, and did he need to do it? Possibly not, but I think it was just a case of just a little bit late at the time. And from what I can gather, I haven't actually seen it myself, but apparently the footage, the ref's actually gone to his top pocket for the book him. And then, obviously, what's happened after all the Swansea players have all started diving in, then it's made him change his mind. So I think he's been influenced about, what's gone afterwards. But I don't think it was a red card. I've had on my review video on my channel there was a few Swansea fans have given me grief to this, and it was red tinted glasses and all that sort of stuff, biased. But for me, no, I don't think it was a red card. Yellow at the most.
Yeah, fair enough. I do agree. That the Swansea players definitely their reaction definitely sort of swayed the ref one way or another. I mean, they went off it, and because of that, I do think that influenced the referee without a doubt. Just very quickly on the chat down here, Alan Robinson says, "Why is our home form so poor?" RAA Productions, which is, I do believe, is Bradley. 09 was definitely a sending off, 100%. I've also sent you a video of the incident. We'll have a look at that soon. Jeff, definitely a red. Horrible challenge, leg breaker. Ref was right there, spot on. Jeff says, "We win." It was shocking, mate. Conrad, 09, was it a sending off? Try not unmute yourself.
I knew that had happened. I was sitting there going, "Don't do that. Whatever you do, don't do that." As I knew I'd catch myself out. Yeah, 100%. It's a red card. I know what he's tried to do, and it's like Wayne says, he's gone in and sort of gone, "I'm going to rattle someone here," and just sort of let the ref know that, like, pause, let the crowd get on him a bit for that one. And the players turned him, and unfortunately, he's like scissored his leg. It could have broken his leg. It's an accident. He's not going to do it on purpose. It's not malicious or anything, but it could still be a red card if it's an accident. Like you might have accidentally hurt somebody there. And yes, I'd probably agree that if the ref might have been doing that a bit like the penalty, might have gone, "I'm not going to give a red card yet. It's too early." But the reaction of like you said, the players all get, because 09's walking off, and about 3 players grab hold of him and are like sort of shaking him about and having a go at him. I think that's what's, like you say, then provoked him to go, maybe it is a red first of all. But if he'd have got a yellow, yes, the game would have flowed on better. But then would Swansea then be saying, "Hang on, ref, that's a straight red card that you've missed there," and people are complaining about the ref on that side. And I still think I don't want to say it, but it is a red card. He could have broke his leg. It's an accident, but it's a red card.
Right, fair enough. Just very quickly, before I go to you, Jack, on the chat, back to the chat, Ian Barron, who's our Darlington fan, says Paddy Armand is in hospital with a bleed on the brain due to an injury on Saturday. He had an operation yesterday to relieve the pressure on his skull. So get well soon. We wish him well, Paddy Armand of Darlington FC down there. Conrad Tank, not a red card. Yellow should have been enough. Says then it's sort of a split. I think more people are saying a yellow card than a red, and are probably hating the referee. David Wilson, I think ex-players should be trained up to referee games. It's been said many times, would be an excellent idea. I'm sure they would fast track them through to do that, but maybe players are not interested in doing that. I'm not sure. The reason for that not really happening. Mick Griffiths says, "I think it was a red card. Was a shade high." I don't think it was high, to be honest. It was, had it been high, I think everybody would have been saying, a definite red card. But I do think it was, he wasn't really high. Jack, Luke 09 sending off. Was it a straight red? Definitely.
Yeah, I think it was a red, unfortunately. I always judge it by my reaction to it. And when I saw him jumping in, I was shouting yellow, yellow. And it was almost pleading with the ref to see it as a yellow. I think I disagree with Mick Griffith saying it was high. I don't think it was high. I think it was more the force he went into the tackle. Do you know what I mean? It was the fact that he kind of lunged his whole body towards their player. And as Conrad says, he's done him. The lads took a neat little touch away from him. The annoying thing is, for me, I mean, I'll come on to Luke 09, as I'm sure we're probably going to discuss him in a minute. But the annoying thing for me, it's how far away from goal you are. I mean, if the lad's running through and it's last ditch and the lad's about to slot it in the net, I can sort of understand Luke 09 thinking, "I need to do something." But when is he even in the Swansea half? Is he in his? No. I think he's
in the centre circle, isn't he?
I think he's not even over halfway. So if Luke 09 wants to pull him back, or he wants to technically foul him, tug his shirt, clip his heels, but don't lunge into a tackle in the way that you're lunging in. However, where I will, obviously I'm disagreeing with Wayne that it's red, but I will agree with Wayne the fact that I think the referee was massively influenced by the Swansea players. I don't think he gives that red card unless it seemed like there was 7 or 8 Swansea players around the referee at one point. In fact, I might have mistaken, but did even the keeper come 40 yards out of his goal to have a go?
I think so.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's where you need to stop things. I mean, regardless of whether it's a yellow or a red, there's only one man's opinion ultimately counts, and that's the referee. And if he thinks it's a yellow, he has to stick by his opinion. You don't want weak referees, which he was throughout the whole game. Again, something we're going to come on to. But if he thinks it's a yellow, be brave enough to say, "No, I'm going to ignore all the hullabaloo and I'm going to give it as a yellow card." So he got it right, in my opinion, but for the wrong reasons, if that makes sense. So I think he only gave it for the pressure that the Swansea players put on him. But it was annoying because so far from goal, we'd started so well, and in one daft action from one of our players, it's turned the whole game upside down.
It's a bit like when we had Max Power and he got those 3 red cards. Like, they were all like multiple yellows, but you remember just thinking some of these were like, "What are you doing? They're so stupid." Like, there's no need to bring someone down there, like, at all. Like, he's not going to be in behind you or anything like that. yeah, just daft.
I've got to agree with you 100% there, Jack, about the players influencing the referee, without a doubt. I wish Terry had been on tonight, because Terry did his blog, and he's 100% certain that he shouldn't have been sent off. For me, it was a red card, without a doubt. However, like I say, the referee, I think, was probably going to give him a yellow, and he was influenced by those Swansea players. A lot of people have said, no, it was a yellow card, it was never a red. I look at it, and I don't think it was high. It wasn't high at all, but he went absolutely flying in. And for me, it was a red card all day long. And what I'll do is the way I'll sort of liken it to, if that had been a Swansea player on one of ours and he just got a yellow card, we would have been going absolutely mental, saying, red card all day long. So it has split opinions. People are saying yellows and whatever. David Jones says you don't get a yellow for that kind of challenge anymore. It was 1990s Vinnie Jones style. Alan Robinson says Ahmad, it was a penalty, 09 red card, both nailed on decisions down there. It's weird, because when I don't know if it was Thursday's show or it was last Monday's show, we praised, I think it was Monday, we praised Luke O'Nien. In fact, we all gave Luke O'Nien the man of the match down at Shrewsbury. And I did say, he is a liability. He can get a booking or go flying in. Sort of everybody was saying, well, he's not like that this season. He's changed his game, and look what's happened. So, is he still a liability, Conrad?
I completely agree that I think because in the first 5 games, I'm sure he had 4 yellow cards, or he was up there within the first couple of games. I remember I don't know when the Sheffield United game was, he got a card in that one, and I'm sure it came up with either 3 or 4. And I was like, how have you got that already? We're in September. What are you doing? It just felt a bit like, are these a bit rash? And then it was a bit rash. He's not normally like that. I don't remember him being like that in League One. Maybe it's the step up of play, or maybe it's more how we're set up now to be a bit more break up their play, a bit like, I don't like mentioning them that much, but how Newcastle play at the minute, where they will take tactical yellow cards and deliberately break up other teams' play to stop them playing. And maybe that's what O'Nien's role is in it, to go, right, well, maybe I'm not the best centre-back here, but I can stop you playing before we even get to the final third, so that we can get back in shape and get the ball off, yeah?
Right, okay. Just very quickly, on the chat, Leroy 89 says, the ref was embarrassing. I'm amazed some are defending that refereeing performance. It's not that we're defending it, because he was absolutely shocking. What we're trying to say is, with the Ahmad penalty, when I've seen it back, it's a stonewall penalty all day long, every day of the week, without a doubt. But when I first saw it, I wasn't convinced. And all we're trying to say is, you've got to, the referee was shocking, but the referee has got that same first look at it once only, the same that I had when I saw it, and I wasn't convinced. So it's not that we're defending him. You've got to be fair to the referees. They have got to make these decisions, and it's all right now where you've got all these camera angles on the telly, and you can see it 36 different ways and what have you. The referee sees it once and has to make a decision on it. But let's get to the referee then. Absolutely shocking performance. Is he the worst we've seen at the Stadium of Light, Jack?
Well, I don't know about that. I just remember last year when we were in League One, everyone was saying, "I'm sick of League One refs. I can't wait to get the Championship. We'll get better referees." And now that was as bad as anything we had in League One. I mean, we've touched on the big incidents that he sort of, in my opinion, he got one right, he got one wrong. But what was annoying me was just the sheer inconsistency that he was shown. And because Swansea seemed to be dropping down regularly when we were trying to get in amongst them. Obviously, you have to remember that Swansea are a possession-based team. They have been for years. And you have to remember that they've got 11 players and we've only got 10. So naturally, they're going to have more of the ball. So when we were trying to get physical and get the ball off them, it felt like they were dropping at every opportunity. It felt like every time we were getting in close to them and pressing them high up, they were making a meal of fouls, and he was giving it them every single time. Yet when we were trying to play the game in the same way, when we were trying to drop down, he waved 4 or 5 away that were probably a lot worse fouls than the ones that he gave to Swansea. And that's what annoys me. It's the inconsistencies. Either you give them all or you give none of them. But you can't pick and choose. And it felt like, I know we're biased, obviously, but it felt like he was giving Swansea a hell of a lot of sort of 50-50s, and that disrupted us trying to get back into the game, I felt. So that it was that as well. It was the annoying inconsistencies that I felt he got a lot of them wrong. And I think he was just sort of playing up to it in the end. I just think he knew that the fans didn't like him, so he just thought, I'm going to give it against Sunderland now because they're on me back anyway, so what difference does it make?
Yeah, I mean, any referee we mentioned earlier that the Lukodine incident, that referee was definitely influenced by the reaction of the Swansea players. And I'm not bothered who you are. If you're a referee, you make that decision and it's your decision and you don't change your mind, looking at, even if he's thinking, oh God, look the way they're reacting, which he obviously did. He's thinking that must have been worse than it was. Just very quickly on the chat, Jeff says, isn't he a Premier ref too? We were talking about this before we came on air. He was a Premier League referee. He got demoted because what was the incident? Conrad, did you?
I think Wayne was saying it was he disallowed. It was, I think it might have been Newcastle and Crystal Palace. He gave a free kick to Crystal Palace when they fouled a Newcastle player by pushing him in to the ball, which then caused that player to head it in and score. And they went, oh yeah, foul, Crystal Palace free kick. It was like, that was one of those ones where you might have seen a few weeks back where the Premier League released, like, there is 6 things VAR has got wrong. And that was one of them that they sort of went, we should have stepped in on that one. So I think that was the big one.
Just again, back to the chat. Emma's on there. Emma, who's part of the team down here. Las Palmas Mackham says, 09 is the enforcer for us, just like Casamol. I sort of like, I don't see 09 as an enforcer. He's a bit of a pretty boy, but I get what you're saying. Just the dirty things for the team, and we have to accept
Let's not forget he started a fight at Portsmouth stand that Catamol had to finish. Like, he does get in amongst it, and he can be horrible when he needs to be.
He does. It's funny because one of the doormen where I work, he's a Middlesbrough fan, and he was asking about 09, and he was saying, is he a bit like a Catamol? And really, I suppose that's the job he's trying to do. He's trying to rough people up, and that's why he's getting these bookings. Wayne, the referee, Keith Stroud, is he the worst we've had? And we had some bad ones in League One.
I think he's the worst one I've ever seen. I thought he was absolutely scandalous. I mean, not just him. Like, we've already touched on these officials. I think collectively it was probably the worst performance I've seen from a set of officials all the time I've been watching football. It was just an absolute joke. If you look at the goals, I think that before it was the second goal went in, I think it was a foul on Ross Stewart, where I think Ross Stewart, he's actually picked up and thrown to the ground. Nothing given. They're going to get the goal. Like Jack's just been sitting there, just inconsistent all over the pitch. And I mean, I don't know whether you're saying it when the players come out at half time, when they came out, the linesman was getting grief of the fans behind the goal, and he just sort of give it that to the fans. I mean, what's that all about? Should they be doing that? And then after that, the second half, that linesman gave us nothing all half. So for me, it was absolutely shocking and the worst ref I've seen ever. And for me, he should be demoted again.
Right, fair enough. Do you not think he was consistently bad?
Well, I think.
Do you want consistently bad?
Not really.
I think it was like Jack's been saying. He was given, letting them away with quite a bit. When we tried to do it, he was given fouls against us. So I know he was just inconsistent and totally biased towards Swansea, I think. I think. Well,
right, okay, fair enough. Quickly back to the chat. Mick Griffiths says he's one of the worst referees I've seen for a long time, and I've seen a lot. Yes, because Mick is really old. I like Mick. David Spencer, Middlesbrough next. Is it Middlesbrough next? We didn't know that. Well done, David Spencer. Telly says, I think the disallowed penalty shout upset 09. That's a very good point. I think he was angry, and to go in where he did on the pitch, in the middle of the pitch, where there was no real danger and stuff like that. I do think that's a fairly good shout. Conrad, Keith Stroud, worst we've ever seen, do you think?
He's got to be up there, hasn't he, as one of the worst ones we've ever seen. I mean, I'm sad, and I remember some referees from decisions in years gone by. Like, we had Steve Bennett when he disallowed Danny Collins' winner against Aston Villa, like all those years ago. And then I asked Danny Collins once about it, and I went, do you know what I was disallowed for? He went, no, he never told me. And it was like, well, like, you're on the pitch and you still didn't even know what it was disallowed for. You had Stuart Atwell, who's still a Premier League ref now. When we were away at Liverpool, we rolled the ball back to Mignolet, and Liverpool said we took the free kick and just ran through and scored. And it's like, well, we get shocking ones all the time, but it has to be up there as one of the singular, like, worst ones. That's just we use the word, but consistently bad on everything. And yes, I know we're going to come at it from bias as well, but like you say, just every 50-50 was Swansea again. Like, even if he'd have just thrown one our way just to get that sarcastic cheer, like the 80th minute, just to be like, oh, I'm not giving all of them. It didn't even feel like we got that at any point, where we finally got one just for that big laugh where everyone just went, oh, you can point the other way. You see, it never came. It just didn't stop.
Right, I'll bring in just now, Jack. I just want to apologise to David Spencer. We're just having a bit of a laugh with you there, David, so don't take it to heart. Jack?
Well, it was just when Conrad was talking about bad refereeing displays, it reminded us of our old friend, Kevin Friend, not very friendly with Sunderland fans. I remember that red card that he gave to Wes Brown at Stoke for winning the ball. So I know we're in the heat of the moment, and Wayne said it's the worst he's seen. He's definitely up there, but we've had some bad ones to pick from, so it's probably another day maybe.
There's a championship ref. I don't know his name. You'll know exactly who I mean when I say headband ref. The Coventry game.
Yeah,
he hasn't sent anyone off. But he just he came in with his grey hair slicked back and just like give it that I'm the big one. You're just like. He came in and you were like, this was bad. Like, you didn't send anyone off or not give a penalty, but you're up there too.
He was a tosser as well. Wayne?
Well, I don't know whether you read, but I think Tony Mowbray's had beef with Stroud before. I was reading that, I think it was beginning of last season or January last year, when Blackburn were playing. Blackburn should have had 2 penalties that day. And I think he came out and criticised them that day. And I think that's why he kind of kept his mouth shut after the game, because he didn't really touch on the ref after the game.
Yeah, but the thing is, Wayne, with all this, like when there's history and stuff like that, you know, if I was a referee, you know, and I had history with a manager, you know, I would go all out to make sure I did the job properly, because people would just say, oh yeah, well, he's got history with him, so he's gone against our team and all this, you know. So I don't necessarily particularly sort of buy all that, but just very quickly anyway, back to the chat. I want to try and get as many people in as I can. Emma says, my opinion on it all, first look, it wasn't a penalty. Red card was a lot of pressure as he was going for the yellow, then changed his mind. I think 09 headbutted him. Who, the ref or the player? Or I'm not. Anybody see that?
I wish he had headbutted the ref. That would have been very
at least make it work.
He's already been sent off anyway, so if he'd just gone like that and given him one, that would have been very interesting.
Take someone with you. Do you know, just like, what was it when Joey Barton and the for QPR, when Aguero scored that goal, he just started kicking them as he was walking off the pitch. Take someone with you, like even it up.
Right, okay. Lewis Patterson says it's where we at? I've lost him now because Lewis Patterson wasn't a penalty either. Would have been soft. says, Alan Nash, what do you think about the 10,000 supporters that left the ground after the third goal, at least 15 minutes to go? Just very quickly, your thoughts on leaving early, Conrad?
It's up to you if you want to. You've already got your cash. Doesn't matter at that point, really. And I think it's probably more to do with, as we've already mentioned on here, maybe they're just getting fed up of seeing the referee point for Swansea every single time. Maybe less so than giving up on us, giving up on the fact that, well, no matter what we do, we're not going to get anything at this point. But no, you've paid your money. You can go if you want. Right? Doesn't matter to me.
Jack,
you miss out.
Fans leaving early.
I think I don't blame anybody, to be fair. I was tempted to go at the second, but I waited, and then when the third goal went in, I thought, well.
Oh, you was one of the 10,000.
Yeah, I went. No, I was after. I didn't go straight away when the third goal went in. It was about 85 on the clock. I just thought 5 minutes to go with 10 men, 2 goals down. It's not happening, is it? And it was starting to get a bit nippy. So,
Wayne, fans leaving early.
I was one of them as well, so I can't say anything. But I like that conversation. You pay your money, you know. Like I said, the game was finished. You know, people have got to travel further afield than just Sunderland, so I suppose it made sense for some people to leave early. The game was.
I walked out of my living room, if that's anything. I was like, I've had enough of this. Like, I've given up.
I mean, to be honest, it's I don't get it when fans go mad at other fans leaving early. You can, you pay your money, you go, you can leave whenever you want. When I've been doing the fan cam interviews, I have to leave on sort of 82 minutes and stuff like that. I don't want to, but I've got to go and get everything set up and do the interviews. And when I've not done them, because we've not done them for a few months, I've stayed till the end. I've enjoyed staying to the end. So, but I don't think anybody's got a right to tell anybody, oh, you should be staying, or you're not a proper fan, you're leaving early, this, that, and the other, and all that. Just very quickly on the chat, where was it? David Jones says Darren Bond is the Alice Band referee. All right then. So we've had a bit of a moan and groan about it all. Did the referee cost us a game? I mean, had 09 not gone off, we win that game hands down. Yeah, win.
Well, you never can tell really, but the signs were good. The first 20 minutes, I think we've already touched on that. Probably the best we've played in the first 20 minutes of a game this season so far. So if we could have gotten that goal, then yes, I think we probably would have went on to win it. So you never can tell, it's all ifs and buts. But for me, I think there was only one team looking like kind of winning, one team going to score. So I think yes, we would have won the game.
Right. Okay. Conrad. I mean, we did look good in the first 20 minutes. I mean, it's all ifs and buts, but the ref cost us the game. Would we probably gone on and got the 3 points there?
It definitely changed the game. Whether we'd have gone on to win is, like you say, ifs and buts on there, but he completely changed the course of the game and impacted our ability to come after it. And I know I was reading a few things on Twitter about people like, why aren't we pressing them higher up the pitch? And it's a bit like Jack said, they're a possession team. You're not going to push them off the ball when they've got an extra man and could just pass it around you on there. But we don't know. I would have said we would have been good for the win based on how it was going, but we don't know if Sunderland's Jekyll and Hyde was going to come back out in the second half. We'd have tailed off again,
Right. Okay. I'm just on Sunderland's website here because we got that news coming in that Sunderland have signed Pierre Ekwa, West Ham player. I believe is that right?
Yeah, there's West Ham.
Anybody know anything about it?
Yeah, he plays for West Ham.
That's about it, I think.
Is what?
Yeah. He plays for West Ham. That's about it.
That's about it. Plays for West Ham.
Right, I'll go on the internet. Jack, did we look good enough in the first 20 minutes that we would have, if the referee hadn't have balls it all up, would have got those 3 points quite easily? Yeah.
Well, you're never ever going to know now, are you? I think ultimately we started the game the better, and I thought it was only a matter of time before we would have scored. And I think the referee has changed it. He's made his decision. It would have been probably easy if he'd just given a yellow, to be fair. Home decision, quieten the crowd down, would have been easier for him. But he's decided to go with the red. We'll never know, Phil, but I don't think we'll lose the game. I certainly think there was a goal coming for us. Would we have gone on to win it 2-0? Again, it's hard to say, but he certainly made it. He changed the game, and I think it was always going to be tough against a team that keeps the ball as well as Swansea do. It was always going to be hard for us.
Right, okay. Pierre-Emmanuel Ekwa Ilimbi, apparently. French player.
You can say that again.
Defender stroke midfielder, apparently. I believe that's him. Formerly with Chelsea's academy.
Who wasn't, though? The amount of players Chelsea have who hasn't been with Chelsea's academy.
So I don't know. Anyway, people are saying that he signed. We can't confirm that. I've been on
defensive midfielder. I think it's saying defensive midfield is his position. I've only heard the name mentioned because we've been linked with them recently, but looks like a young athletic centre mid, so maybe a bit of a box to box man, a ball carrier. I don't know.
Philly Jeff says, "Get yourself down there. You know where the parent door is now. Why don't you go and have a look, see if you can find him, peek through the window."
Well, it's funny because I've got on the list here when we get on to transfers for late dramas. To be honest, me and Conrad did chat about this a couple of weeks ago, whether we should actually go down do a live transfer deadline day again. It's not going to top the Jermaine Defoe thing.
Mbappe signs. Philly's there interviewing him in the back of the car again.
Last year, and the chances are they might put security on this time as well to stop us peeping in windows and stuff like that. But we'll see. We'll see
coming a mile off this time.
We'll see what the transfer market's like, and if nothing's happening on Sky News, then I could be the roving reporter who goes down there, and we could.
I'd laugh if they did you over this time and they did it at the stadium, and you were stood at the academy the whole time.
Well, who knows? It's not gonna top Jermaine Defoe, which is why, to be honest, I didn't do it in the summer. But we'll see. We'll make a decision on that a bit closer to the time. So it's always difficult when you go down to 10 men. Before I do this, by the way, I'd like to. We've got 66 likes. See if we can get us up to 100 if we can. We've got 111 people there watching the stream at the moment. If you just hit the thumbs up, give us a like. If you're watching on a mobile device and your live chat is on, just close your live chat. You see the thumbs up, smash that. Let's get those numbers up if we can. And don't forget, of course, if you are watching and you are not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Free to do so. Just hit that subscribe button and that will help us out. You go down to 10 men. It's always difficult, even more so against a team like Swansea who keep the ball. Your thoughts on how we did? You know, I mean, was it 0-0? Dan Neil goes through, another penalty shout. Let's address that one first. Was that a penalty, Jack? Dan Neil's?
I've certainly seen them given. I didn't think it was as much of a shout as the Diallo one, but I've certainly seen them given. Yeah, I thought when he went through, I thought it could have gone our way, but we're never going to get it with that ref, will we? Let's be honest.
Well, there you go. Wayne, Dan Neil, penalty? No penalty.
Well, based on what he gave in the first half, then you would say no, wouldn't you? But like Jack says, you've seen them given before, but I think we were never going to get that on the day. Impossible.
Right, okay. I'll look at you just there, Conrad. Quickly on the chat. Purple Rust says Ross Stewart is the only player we need to sign right now. Emma says if they do the Stadium of Light, she'll go to one and I can do the other. So we'll split between us. We can do that. Conrad, 0-0. 10 men. We was battling away there. Dan Neil went through. Was it a penalty?
I don't think so. It's more of a tangle of legs coming together. But that didn't stop me jumping up and screaming for it even more so than the first one, just because of how we'd been treated so far in that game. It was one of those, like what Jack was saying, like when he was pleading for yellow, I was just pleading more for the penalty more so than just like, even it up, give us the lead now. But no, not for me really. Again, you see him given, but bit too soft for me, that one.
Yeah, there was two two niggles at him actually. So anyone could have been given. Jack, you was one in there.
Yeah, I was just moving on from the penalty, just bringing up Dan Neil. I actually thought he had a good game. I don't know what the other people think, and the people in the chat. I thought he had a good game, not just because he scored, but I do think that the fact that he was willing to get on the ball, he was energetic. He seemed to be the one that, if anything was going to come from a Sunderland player, it was going to be him that was at the heart of it. You know what I mean? I thought the way that he got on the ball and tried to get us going a little bit against good Swansea midfielders, and also outnumbered because Corey Evans is good sitting player and he does try to assist, but he's not going to create anything. So I think Dan Neil was up on his own against probably two, maybe even three of Swansea's midfielders. I just think he deserves a special mention. I thought he had a good game. He constantly got on the ball and tried to make things happen, and he got his reward with a goal, didn't he? It's just a shame it wasn't a goal that got us a result or a point, but I thought he had a really, really good game. Really mature game as well. And I think he's coming on leaps and bounds. I just hope he doesn't develop so well that we get other teams looking at him.
Totally agree with you, Jack. He worked hard. He did a lot, and like I say, he got the goal. He deserved the goal, but he did so much more than that. Without a doubt. Might as well go on to man of the match. Would you say he's your man of the match then, Jack?
Yeah, absolutely. I thought he was really, really good, and like I say, mature performance, as I've already touched on. I thought he was excellent. He was the one player. I mean, I felt sorry for them all with the way the game went, but he was the one player I looked at and thought, you're unlucky to be on the losing team today. I really felt
that. Conrad, Dan Neil, or your man of the match?
Keith Stratton. No, sorry. Yeah, it has to be Daniel. I think it's sort of like, I think him seeing 09 go off probably reminded him a bit of how he went off at Sheffield United and how he probably thought the game's changed because of that decision there. And he sort of felt like he stepped up and went like, right, this is my time to maybe even put that right, and I'll drive us on and I'll be the sort of dominant force in the midfield. So it was actually nice to see someone step up. They could have all quite easily sort of just gone back within themselves a bit and just done a sideways pass here and a backwards pass there. And it was a bit like he went, no, we're still better than you and we can win this game. And it was actually really refreshing to see for a change.
Right, okay. Just very quickly, back on the chat when I find it down here. Conrad Sank says live transfer day was entertaining. It was entertaining, and like we say, we have talked about going down. Even there'll be fans down there anyway. So even if there's nothing happening transfer wise, we can have a chat with the fans.
What's it called in America for those NFL games? There was the tailback parties or whatever they're called, or something like that. Can we not just do that outside the academy and just do one of the lives from we're all there as well? Get a barbecue on. We'll all sit there.
I don't know. I mean, the idea was to do it in the summer when it's nice and warm because it's normally freezing. But it was. I mean, it was a year ago.
Close together and warm ourselves up.
I mean, it was a year ago when we did it, and it was all on the spur of the moment because we were all sort of like remote, weren't we? And we just ran down, and we're just sort of lucky with it, weren't we? Wayne, man of the match.
Yeah, I think just to agree with Conrad and Jack, that's Dan Neil for me. I think he a very good performance. Like he tried to get on the ball, and bearing in mind, he was in the midfield there against Joel, and who's been a good centre midfield player down the years. He just come back from the World Cup, so he was held his own, more than his own, and we only had 10 men, so I couldn't really fault any of the lads. Performance wise, I thought we battled, and I think for a little bit of a spell in the second half, we were on top a little bit. But Dan Neil for me, man of the match.
Right, fair enough. Just very quickly, Mick Coleman says we were the better team. Jeff says no penalty again, tripped his feet. And where was it? Lost. Alex Bingham, what's your opinions on the Equa rumours? Well, we just said they are rumours. Some people are saying he's signed. To be honest, we'll be honest with you, we don't know a lot about him. Defensive midfielder is all we know. That's all we can tell you. What I want to do, I want to give a shout out to the fans. Really, 1-0 down when we're 1-0 down. Just before we got the equaliser, I thought the fans sort of like really upped the game and got behind the team. Fair play to Sunderland. I don't think anybody, I mean, my personal opinion, and I don't think many people are angry with Sunderland getting beat 3-1 on Saturday. It was, you know, they battled even with 10 men, and when they pulled it back to 1-1, but I thought the crowd really got behind the team, and I think that sort of spurred them on to get the equaliser. Jack, do you agree?
Yeah, I felt that the crowd was excellent. You know, we really did stick by them. It was only when the third went in and the hope had really been dashed did that the crowd sort of drift off, and we recognised that the game had gone. I just think it's a bit. It's annoying that the home record is so poor because, well, I'm not saying so poor, but it could be better because I think it's partly down to the way that we play, that our style suits away from home better than it does at home. But it would be nice for our home supporters because we're turning up in numbers, best supported team in the league, which we always knew we were going to be. But it would be nice if we could get a few more home wins on the board. You know, I think we've only had 3 or 4 so far this season, so it'd be nice if we get a few more for the loyal home support.
Yeah, definitely. Quickly moving on to transfers then, and this is all speculation. I mean, I was on social media last night, and somebody put on, and again, it's social media, so I'm going to say this, but don't take this as kosher. Joe Gelhardt probably done deal within the next 24 hours from Leeds. That's the striker. I'm nowhere backing that up. This is only coming off social media, people saying things like that. Still no movement as far as we know on the Ross Stewart contract. To be fair, Terry has a good contact, and he was saying there's still issues over it. Ross Stewart's not fully happy with the contract yet, which is why that's not signed. Players coming in, where do we need to strengthen then, Jack?
Yeah, I think, well, it's obvious we definitely need a striker, isn't it? That's probably 2. I mean, we definitely need at least 1, possibly 2. I would have said holding midfielder, defensive midfield player, somebody in the, you know, to take a bit of, because we rely on Corey Evans in that role, don't we? Haven't really got anybody that plays that type of role. If we do get Ekwa, that might be him. So yeah, I think perhaps as well, maybe a backup, another option in goal, because that Bass doesn't look like he's going to be anything for us, really, does he? And Anthony Patterson, he didn't have his best game on Saturday, did he? So that might be an option. See if we can get an experienced number 1 in for a few months on a short-term spell. I don't know, but there's definitely options out there. But at least bare minimum 1 striker, and ideally, I would like 2. I know I'm being a little bit greedy, but I think you're best off having 3 options really up front.
Right, okay. Just very quickly on the chat, Chris Johnson says Gelhardt is not a target for us. They are waiting on Sims. But like you said, Jack, we need more than 1 coming in, and especially the fact that Ross Stewart's still not signed. I mean, fingers crossed. But if he doesn't sign and he ends up away, then we are really up shit creek without a paddle, really. Jack, you were saying Patterson came in for some stick at the weekend. Fair or unfair, or what?
I think, well, I don't think he had his best games, but I think sometimes there's a tendency with our fans to really, put the boot in when a player's had a bit of a bad game. He is still very, very young as a goalkeeper, isn't he? Let's be honest, goalkeepers often kind of get better as they get towards 28, 30, and I don't know his exact age, but is he 21 maybe, 2021 perhaps, 22 tops? I don't think he's much more than that. So I think we have to recognise that he is going to have games like that. He is going to have games where he makes mistakes as he develops. But I think that's all the more reason why you should have a solid, experienced backup. Do you know what I mean? Maybe someone who knows the Championship and be willing to be a backup towards the end of his career, which we've got that Bass, but I haven't been impressed with him the twice I've watched him. So I'm not really sure, his value to the team. That might be an option we can look at. So, yeah, I think we have to recognise that Patterson didn't have a very good game and realise that is going to happen with a lot of the squad as well, not just Patterson. We're a very young squad, so they are going to have games whereby they dip and they're going to have poor performances. But, he wasn't at his best, shall we say.
Right, okay. CONRAD, transfer windows open. Where do we need to strengthen? Is a striker our main priority?
Yeah, I think it has to be, especially with Sims going. I would like to see him back, as even though I wouldn't say I rated him that much.
Sorry, Conrad, can I quickly jump in? Because Alex Bingham said, Lee Camp, one last dance. Sorry, Conrad, go on.
Man spent 6 months standing on his tiptoes and still couldn't get halfway up the goal. Yeah, Jesus. Yeah, I'd love to see Sims back. I didn't think he was. It was like weird when he was here. I didn't actually think he was all that, but he still got 7 in 15, I think, for us when he played. I think Jack's right. We probably should go for 2, but I know they'll only go for 1 because I just had a quick look there while you were talking. We went 10 games without a striker, and we still won 3, drew 3, and for them they'll think, well, we can clearly get by without one. When Sims went down at Reading and Stewart was already out, it took him 10 games to get him back for the Birmingham game when Sims came back and scored. So they know we can cope if we need to. It's risky, which is all what we said at the start of the season when we only went in with 2. I would really like a really solid defensive midfielder, someone with a bit of experience like Corey Evans, someone who isn't scared to sort of get in and break up the play when we do come up against a possession-based team like a Swansea. But I know that wouldn't be any good when you're already down to 10 men. But it just felt like for a good few years, probably since Catamol left in League One, we haven't had someone stood in the middle of the pitch just marshalling everything and being like, this is my space, like you're not taking anything off me, you have to fight me to win every single battle. And I've always thought we've lacked that. Corey Evans is good at it. I really do think Danny Bart's really good at centre-back. It probably helps our midfield because of how strong he is, but it has to be a striker, and then, for me, a defensive mid. We've got 7 or 8 floaty attacking midfielders now. We don't need any more of them.
Yeah, I think I tend to agree with you, Conrad. I think a lot of people have said, once Catamol went, we never really found another sort of like person to sort of, fill his boots. Mick Coleman says he's not convinced about Sims personally. We need more of a Kevin Phillips. Ian Barron, who's our Darlington fan, says, anyone heard of the player Isaac Hayden?
Yeah, he used to be at Newcastle. He was the defensive mid for them. He'd be again, I don't really want him because he played for Newcastle, but he might be the sort of player that you'd need. That's all he did. He was there to break up play in the midfield and give the ball to the better players on the side to charge it up. So it's not a bad shout, but I don't want him to play for Newcastle.
Okay, just before I trigger you, Win, we just need, if we can get 18 more people to hit the thumbs up, we'll hit 100 likes, which would be absolutely superb. We've got 105 people on the stream at the moment. If you just hit the thumbs up, take a second to do so. Give us a like, smash that. Let's see if we can get to 100. And don't forget, if you've not subscribed, it's free to subscribe. Just hit the subscribe button as well. Wayne, transfer window's open. Desperate for a striker. Any other positions?
Well, we've already touched on, on Gelhardt. From what I've seen him, I'd definitely like to see him at the club. He looks a decent player. He's always kind of shown when he's came off the bench for Leeds. In regard to Sims, I think as well, he knows the club, he knows the setup. So if we can get him back, I would definitely take him back as well. Touched on the centre mid, definitely. Strong box-to-box one. And I'd probably look at maybe go for the left back area. We're a little bit weak in that area as well, I think. So I'd probably look at that as well, and possibly the goalkeeper if we can get an experienced keeper for Patterson to learn from. Bring him on even more.
Could we get Bass up top? He's good at headers.
He has to be good at
We've only scored 1 goal from a corner in I can't remember how long it was this year, but if we count under 23s, he's got the other one. He's 50% of our threat from corners.
That's right.
The only year that Alex Bass has had regular games was when he was playing for Salisbury in the Southern League South. So I'm sorry, but yeah, I mean, he might if he proves me wrong and goes on to have a great glittering Sunderland career, then I'll hold my hands up. But I can't say it.
It's a bit like when. Didn't we have Remy Matthews? We thought he was crap, got rid of him, and he signed for Crystal Palace the next season. You're like, how have you done that? Who is your agent?
Well, Jason Steele just signed a new contract at Brighton, until 2025 or something.
Right, just very quickly, because it's in response to you, Conrad, I do believe. Mick Griffith says, just because he played for Newcastle, you don't want him.
Yeah, that's exactly because name any player that's gone to and from the other way that's worked out.
Well,
got history on my side. I probably wouldn't think that.
Mick
But
Griffiths,
history.
all I'll say to Mick Griffiths is Lee Clark.
Lee Clark.
To be honest, you know, was
How'd that turn out?
Well, Lee Clark and Sunderland fans, or did he?
How did that go?
That t-shirt.
And Emma down here also chucks in Chopra because he should have scored that goal.
He passed up a chance to win as the derby. Then if you look the other way, you've got Colback, who fell out of favour at Newcastle as well. You've got also Manquillo, who's still at Newcastle now. So it doesn't work. No, it's not because I maybe don't think he's a good player. It doesn't work.
Right, so look, we're out of time, to be honest. That's we had loads of other topics to talk about, but we can carry those forward to Thursday. We can do that. Listen, thanks for joining us. Don't forget, we are here now, not on a Sunday anymore, because the grafter, who is obviously me, has got extra shifts, and I'm grafting on a Sunday. So now we do Monday Night Live. We do 7 till 8 on a Monday. Join us for that. We're still on now on a Thursday as well, 7 o'clock Thursday. If you want to join us Thursday Night Live, do that, and various content going back on the channel as we get back up to speed, because we missed you all. Conrad, thanks for joining us. Would you like to just say bye to everybody?
Bye to everybody.
Bye to everybody. Jack, just say bye to everyone, would you?
See you later, lads and lasses. Keep the faith.
There you go. And Wayne, before you said bye, because I forgot to do it last week, do you want to give your channel a plug as well?
Yeah. Only Frozen SAFC.
So
like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you
absolutely.
very much.
Get yourself over to Wayne's channel there. Only Fools and SAFC. Hit the like button and give him a subscribe as well, and check out Wayne's content over there as well. Like we said, thanks for joining us. If you are a member, your name will go up in the credits on the end. So we look forward to seeing you on Thursday. Don't forget, please, to like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you on Thursday. See you. Ta-ra.